The first images from Hezbollah will come now. Hezbollah is also striking effective blows. Yes, its weapons and ammunition are not comparable to Israel's, but there is footage of it hitting the city of Nahariya with missiles. Let's start with that, and then we'll look at the others. The weaponry present here belongs to Hezbollah, the missiles and the montage. Take a look at this. They are launching kamikaze man defense vehicles. These vehicles are not designed to return. Instead, they explode upon impact due to a bomb that they carry. It has been observed that their air defense systems are particularly ineffective against these vehicles. Missiles and rockets, on the other hand, are more discernible in terms of visibility. However, Israel lacks a robust air defense system to counter them. Now, let's examine this missile launcher, which consists of multiple barrels capable of launching rockets. How many are there? It seems like 12 on one side, 12 on the other, and 6 in the middle. That makes it a total of 30 firing simultaneously. This signals the creation of a system that can launch missiles consecutively. Furthermore, it is known that they were targeting the same location where the missiles were headed. They can even fool the air defense system with a few of them. There are those that stop. There are those that fall. There is also information that an Israeli was killed in this rocket attack. Look how it sometimes comes like rain. That's what that missile launcher tells us. So we have seen that. When we finish this image, there is the attack of the Qassam brigades here. Israel has already left Gaza uninhabitable, Israeli soldiers, but when they step on the ground, they can be targeted again. Here with guns, Israeli soldiers shot at long range. It is noticeable that they are squeezed in one place. Now, as I said, Qassam is said to have a little more room for maneuver since the opening of the Lebanese front, and it is visible. Here, again, we are seeing Israeli armored vehicles. They probably targeted Israeli soldiers who were on inspection duty. There is also information that a considerable number of Israeli soldiers were killed and wounded in Gaza, perhaps more than at the beginning of the massacre here. Since Israel does not give much information in official statements, we cannot say these clearly, but let's say that the rumors are in this direction. Now, there is a
indoors past image here too.
Well, there's talk of revenge, and right there, look, there's already a rocket launcher. There's a rocket launcher. After explaining why and for whom, the Qassam member will go out with his rocket and target the other person. Here's a picture of him. He sticks it on the rocket launcher. And then the targeted armored vehicle here. And now he's also using the rocket with his photo pasted on it. It sends it to the relevant area and detonates it. Gaza is resisting as much as it can. Let's say that, because it would be useful to change this title, because from here we switch to Hamas. Let's say that, because this is Gaza now, but like I said, the Qassam brigades, which are under blockade, even under normal conditions with very limited means, are still continuing their resistance there, even though the ammunition they have may be about to run out. But in the meantime, more than 50,000 Gazans have been killed. Yes, more than 100,000 wounded. Yes, millions are homeless. Yes, let's say that too. Now that this has already happened, that decision has been made regarding Israel's Prime Minister and former Defense Minister. Let's announce it. Let's say it one more time. Maybe it was one of the most expected. In the name of humanity, the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant against Netanyahu and Gallant for what they did in Gaza. There are 3 countries that have said they will implement this decision: France, the Netherlands, and Ireland. Their number will increase. Tomorrow morning, most probably, the followers will come. As far as I can see, a new statement on this issue has come from Numan Kurtulmuş, the Speaker of the Parliament. Let's talk about that too. Netanyahu tried to brush it off as an anti-Semitic decision. Kurtulmuş, on the other hand, said that this decision is one of the indicators that the human front stands by the oppressed Palestinian people. It is important. Now that 3 countries have announced it, These two names will not be able to go to these three countries unless the current situation changes. This is important. In a sense, it is also important in terms of the conscience of humanity. It just happens in an unprecedented move. Let's say this. Recently, there was a similar decision of the International Criminal Court for Putin in 2023. Netanyahu said he rejected the verdict as anti-Semitic nonsense. They don't recognize anything or any rule of the world anyway. Cevdet Yilmaz says that the International Criminal Court's decision is an important turning point, and we will continue to work for the murderers to be held accountable. Parliament Speaker Numan Kurtulmuş also said that the court's decision is a step of historical importance. Israel, which was thought to be untouchable, has been touched. The Minister of Justice had made a statement before, and he also said that the court's decision is a delayed but positive step. The murderers must be brought before the law as soon as possible. Akbar Speaker Çelik again said that the court's decision is a decision on behalf of humanity. Netanyahu and Gallant will eventually be held accountable. He also said, "We will implement this decision of the International Criminal Court in France, the Netherlands, and Ireland. If he comes to our country, we will arrest him to attend the court's proceedings." The High Representative of the European Union, Mr. Borrell Important, said that the court's decision is not political and that it must be respected and obeyed. In this sense, we do not know whether Europe will dare or take a step against Netanyahu and Gallant in the face of wholesale Israel. But as a result, slowly, there is increasing news emerging from the European front, shedding light on the intense situation. In Lebanon, Israel appears to be under pressure, and many wonder if a ceasefire is on the horizon. However, if such a truce takes place, it is expected to be favorable to Israel. President Trump has expressed his commitment to ending wars worldwide, but can this goal be achieved before President Biden leaves office? Only time will tell, sir.
The United States of America is involved to end the conflict between Israel and Lebanon Hezbollah. Amos Hochstein, a senior advisor to U.S. President Joe Biden, made initial contact in the Lebanese capital of Beirut, stating that progress had been achieved during discussions with Lebanese Parliament Speaker Nabi Berri. Prior to departing for Israel, Hochstein expressed confidence in the possibility of resolving the conflict, presenting a positive outlook. Initial progress has been made. That is why I will go to Israel to finalize the agreement. Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar said that a possible ceasefire with Hezbollah should give his country freedom of action in Lebanon in case of violations. He defended it. Hezbollah leader Naim Qassem said the ceasefire was in Israel's hands.
Do we anticipate that these discussions will lead to a ceasefire and prompt cessation of hostilities? There is no way to assure that, as it is contingent on Israel's response and the level of seriousness demonstrated by Netanyahu.
The Israeli airstrikes on southern Lebanon are ongoing, with warplanes conducting attacks on baths located south of Beirut during the night.
The possibilities are bleak, and even thinking about it breaks our hearts. The images we see from Lebanon show a different perspective, but the dark reality before us is the Dahya region. Israel may strike this area with greater force to respond to the world. It may initiate a new series of massacres in Gaza. The Western world, which adheres to Sharia law, has already indicated that they will eradicate it. In this regard, they might declare that they will not comply with your decision and that they do not care about you. They consider all of you as enemies, enemies of the Jewish people. Take a moment to observe how these places are being targeted once again. We must acknowledge that this statement remains a distinct possibility until today. Even if criticism comes from any corner of the world, let's say from Joe Biden, the President of the United States, who remarks that Israel has gone a bit too far. Despite this, the Israeli administration has taken even more significant steps from Beirut. Currently, there is no specific target, but it seems relatively quiet this evening. However, we should not be surprised if there are heavier bombardments tonight or tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, these actions can be anticipated for both Gaza and the Seke of Western Honor.